What's up, what's up, guys? This is Ninja. I don't know, Ninja. I just woke up maybe a few hours. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I woke up about an hour ago. Okay, like 30 minutes maybe. Anyways, I've been posting videos. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I don't have good things to say. Like basically, people I've been posting videos for, I haven't had very much good to say except for the what's his name? um, Sean Paul Reyes. Like that's the only person who have good had good. But even then, I can critique Sean Paul Reyes from Long Island Audit. I can critique that person. I think it's important because I want them to be better. You know, that's the idea. Is I want them to be better. And if I don't have a critique about you about being better, then yeah, anyways, so I have a video here, and this is about what Bernie Sanders, and basically he silences his right wing critique critics with Lex Friedman, and this is uploaded by a progressive perspective, as you can see there and there. Very useful. Good job. Okay. Anyways, I'm just gonna upload this and make comments as I go, and then there you go.
Politics, I read you were worth $1,100. So when you started in politics, I read you were worth $1,100.
That much?
Yeah, that much. That's right.
Lex Fridman had Bernie Sanders on. This is about 3 months ago, but it's interesting because I have seen this repeatedly. This attack from the right about Bernie's being rich, and Bernie has 3 houses, and he's worth $2 million, and how dare he attack the rich? And which is pretty rich. Anyway, Lex addresses it directly with Bernie, and I want to share this clip with you. And then I want to know what you think in the comments, but let's hop right into it, shall we?
So before we do that, what I want to note is from the person progressive perspective, I want to say thank you because most people out there, instead of telling you what you're in for, they will tell you what you're in for and then tell you what you are in for by explaining exactly what it is you're gonna watch. And then, like, basically, they are the ones punching everything. And then you hear it repeated from the broadcast. Basically, it's like, why are you talking, or why are you showing the clip if you are both gonna say the same thing, right? So from the start, I want to just say bravo because you didn't take anything. All you did is properly set it up, basically, which was you have seen a lot of the right or whatever saying that, oh, Bernie's rich and blah blah blah, and you're rightfully with your comment, but whatever you did, right? So, and then you're like, here's the answer, and you hit play instead of, and then Bernie says, you know what I'm saying? Instead of saying exactly what it is we're about to watch, you let them say it. So well done, well done.
Since running for president, you've often been attacked, especially from the right, about being worth, I believe, $2 million and owning 3 houses.
Okay.
So from my perspective, the answer to that is most of your wealth has been earned from writing books and selling those books. And you are one of the most famous politicians in the world. And so your wealth in the context in comparison to other people of that fame level and other politicians is actually quite modest. So what's your response usually to those attacks?
Do I own 3 residences? Yeah, I do. I live here in Burlington, Vermont. We live in a middle-class neighborhood, nice house. Guess what? I'm a United States Senator, and I own a home in Washington, D.C., as do most senators. You know, you live there year after year. When I first went to, actually, when I was in Congress for 16 years, I rented all the time. But I got elected.
Oh, that's a name. he's getting all caught up in the bullshit, and he's explaining it, and he can't even say, listen. He changes his
Own a
story.
home in Washington, D.C., as do most senators. You know, you live there year after year. When I first went to, actually, when I was in
See, he changes his story, so it doesn't shut up.
Congress for 16 years, I rented all the time. But I got elected. Okay, you got a 6-year term. You know what? Let's buy a house. So we bought a house. And guess what? Like many thousands of people in the state of Vermont, I have a summer camp. It's a nice one on Lake Champlain. That's it. Now, how did I get the money? You're right. I wrote 2 best-selling books, including this book on capitalism.
The system that the only one like it's like you have to understand. It's not. It's okay. So first off, let me explain. It's not Democrat versus Republican. That is the story that they're trying to sell. It's Democrat and Republicans who hasn't taken the bait and who against the Republicans who have taken the bait, and then the rich who put out the bait, basically. And the same is true on the left. It's just that you're a lot more likely to avoid taking the bait on the left. It's because the left tends to be more critical of things. Basically, they tend to hyper, like, what is that? What are you doing? Why are you there? Whereas on the left, it's like, well, if it's from God, then why not? You know? And they go along with it for, whatever. But the point is, and it's fine, you can be that way. You can believe in God or whatever. That's fine. It's just that when you don't critically analyze information, that's the problem, right? I'm pretty sure God wants you to listen, but He doesn't want you to believe that a bum has the word. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know, and just because it's President Trump, like, he was getting elected with or without you, right? And the reason why he got elected with you is because he used you, anyways.
It was New York Times bestseller for a while. And
That's what I'm saying. A bestseller. In books, understand that from the left and this is why I brought this up, the left and on the right, the people who haven't taken the bait. There's this thing called grassroots support, basically, which the rich are trying to stamp out. And if you watch my previous video about this one girl who casts in her set of like showing herself, she shows a VR model. Basically, what it should also do, this is not doing a lot of talking, is go to this. So basically, there was this video that showed a girl, and she is basically talking about like, why are people like this? And she's like, this makes no sense. Why are people like this? And the truth is, most people aren't like this. In fact, if you looked at my video, I showed a second video with an African tribe or whatever, like some Indian island people tribe with black people is the point I'm trying to get at. And they were acting a way, and they're literally doing the opposite of this thing that's telling you how to live and how to be a man and whatnot. And they're doing the exact opposite, basically. And the point of that is, like I said, the people who have taken the bait and the people who have not. And on the left rather, I'm looking at my reflection, and on my reflection, I actually put my hand to my left. Wait, what the hell? I think I was talking as if I was. Excuse me. Okay, so. Okay, so on the left, you tend to be more like I said, critical. So when like that kind of thing came out on the internet, like that girl that was talking, I assume was on the left. Basically, she may have had more wholesome upbringing. Basically, probably Republican parents or something along those lines. She had Republican basically things that gave birth to her steps, like like the way she thought it was conservative rather. I think that's a better way to explain it. But she was kind of liberal in the sense that how she was like, how she looked at things. Like she's more critique focused, and she may have been on the right, basically overall, because we're starting to forget. So even me, rather, we're starting to forget what the right looks like because so many people on the right have taken that bait, basically, and because the focus is on the people who have taken the bait, so we're starting to forget what it looks like to be a Republican who hasn't taken the bait. You know what I'm saying? It's so bad that I'm actually comparing the left and the right, and it's getting to like so bad in America. Like it's so divisive that it's either us or MAGA. You know what I'm saying? Like it's left or rather America versus MAGA. It's not left or right. It's not left for kind of right. It's now left for. It's just now America versus MAGA. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, yeah. Anyways, let me go ahead and switch it back here, and we'll go back to this.
Another book was a youth book, and I make, I don't know, 175,000 a year, and that's.
But yeah, grassroots. Remember, he can't make money through the rich because he isn't saying what like like a man is a man because this is how to be a man. Not like that black tribe. No. They haven't been influenced by the rich yet. So, based on the rich, people should be like this. That's the message that we want to sell. That's when the rich would back me up because I promote what they want to hear. But because Bernie Sanders, is like me, and I'm saying things that the rich don't want to hear, we depend on grassroots. And he's thankfully he made his money before the rich took over probably the book market. I would say the book industry is the last of the Republican Party that's holding on. I'm not saying that the Republican Party, all of the kids bought or bit, rather. It's just that every kid basically is bought in by the rich, basically, and it's very rare you find a kid that actually reads, basically, and that's kind of the last of the right. That the readers of the right is the last bit of the people informed, basically, unless you're only reading the propaganda, basically, that they're putting out there. They're trying to take over. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to fill you in. Kind of like remember when AOC showed up and then they tried to create an artificial AOC. And there was the squad. It just happened. It just happened. It randomly just happened. It was there. It is. It's just the squad, and then they try to make the squad on the right. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. And they try to shut it down and they try to cancel them out. And for the most part, actually, it doesn't work. That's why we won't hear from the squad anymore. The thing was, AOC, it's a lot harder to shut out one person than it is a group of people. Like that's one thing. That's why grassroots is the truth, basically, and the right reigns supreme. Because the second you take out grassroots, that's America right there. America is the people. You know what I'm saying? So the second it's not grassroots, it's now England royalty. You know, the royalty back in the day. The reason why they're like, well, if people are so starving so much, give them cake. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how naive minded people are. You know what I'm saying? And she was like not really into it, but at one point people were into keeping, enslavement and like I give you your money, you bullies. And eventually they all died. But the queen age stayed put for a long time, and I'm thinking way too deep. Anyways, if you want to hear talk about it, go to my channel. The rich kind of shut me up, so peace. Yeah.
More or less how I became the zillionaire that I am.
Well, I should also mention that sometimes the word mansion is used, and I think your residences are quite modest, at least from my
normal
perspective.
houses in Brooklyn. They're not, they're middle-class houses, very nice house.
So when you started in politics, I read you were worth $1,100.
That much?
Yeah, that much. That's right. Has the increase in wealth change your ability to relate.
He's worth it that much, and it's a big deal. Meanwhile, they're following the richest man alive, and they hardly talk about it. Like, the standards, basically. It's like the left has to, and you hear them talking about it all the time. The left has so many things they have to kind of like, um, to escape, and like the standards exist for them. Meanwhile, the right, it's just chaos. It's whatever. I think that's what the world is. And again, what I mean by what I said was America. We created standards. We live through standards. That's what makes us America, because we have these standards versus an unregulated machine, basically. And it's not so much that we're trying to say unregulate yourself, America. We're saying take the gloves off. You're so like you want it to be a boxing match, but they're using tooth and nail. It's time to meet them tooth and nail. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that I don't want to go back to America. It just means that fuck them up, bitch. You should own them. You're America. You know what I'm saying? This fucking weirdos.
To the working class.
Well, that's a good question. And obviously, growing up in a working class family has been maybe the most singularly significant aspect of my politics. It's, I grew up without money in a family that lived in a rent-controlled apartment in Brooklyn, New York. So that has impacted me. I'll tell you, I don't really give a damn about money. I drive a car that's 11 years old. It's an old car. And money...
It's a tank. They don't make them like they used to, Bernie. It's not because you're poor. It's not because you don't wanna. It's not because of this and that. There's class, bro. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay. I wish I could go back to my dad's old, like 86 Monte Carlo or whatever. Fuck. Before that, I wish I could go back to his 72 Chevelle, right? I fucking miss those cars. Because if I were driving, like, I may be a fucking turtle, right? Like, now we're finally up to speed, right? Or his car's down like, at speed or whatever. If the two hit, I'd be like, and all that'd be left is the battery.
Here's my jewelry. It's a solar watch.
Nice.
And my wedding ring. That's about it. I don't have a Rolex watch. Would not
Calm
be interested
down,
in it.
buddy. Get your rich.
But I'll
Mr.
tell you what
Rich.
has impacted me. My wife, who also grew up in a working class family, will tell you the same. We don't worry. You raised that issue. If we have to go to the doctor, if our kids have to go to the doctor, we go to the doctor. I don't stay up nights worrying. There was a time I have to worry about how to pay my electric bill. I don't worry about that anymore. So what has happened, that stress, that economic stress of not worrying about a financial disaster, that's gone. And that is
significant. And I appreciate that he calls that out. I can certainly speak to, as I think the majority of Americans can, that background stress of just needing utilities, if you've got kids, if you've got student loans, right? The weight of debt is something that you may be so used to, you don't even realize how heavy it can be over time until it is gone. And I hope that you get to a place where that is gone. I personally managed to pay off some debt with the help of my parents. And there was a moment where I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe the sense of relief, that the profundity of that relief. It's not maybe familiar with. It's crushing.
Enormous. I, maybe as much or more than any other member of the Senate, work hard not only for but with working class people. I'm chairman of the committee that deals with labor issues. We have been involved probably in dozens of strikes all over this country. I've been on picket lines. So, I do my best. It's a very easy trap to fall into. You can get separated from ordinary people and their struggles. Not hard to do. I try as hard as I can not to do that.
So sometimes people say, can money buy happiness? I think I agree with you. That worry sort of...
Real quick, before we get into...
People and their struggles. Trap to fall into. You can get separated from ordinary people and their struggles. Not hard to do. I try as hard as I can not to do that.
What I want to point out to you is basically what he means is it's when you have to, oh fuck, I don't have enough money to pay the bills, and you have to really scrounge for that dime, for that $5, for that $10. I've been there. I remember when I was younger, I actually stood in front of Walgreens, and I think I was like $7 shy of paying my PG&E bill. And I stood there for $7, and I explained to some guy, I was like, "Yeah, I just got to pay my PG&E bill, like seven. I just need $7, and I'd be able to pay it for the month. I'm $7 shy. It's like due in like a day or two or something like that. And so I'm out here because I had no choice basically. And sure enough, he's like, "Here's $10. Go pay your bill. You're a good young boy." And send me on my way. I went home and pay. And the point is, I've been there. I see it. I understand that. And what he's talking about is that when you have the money, it's easy to forget how hard it was, because it's basically, it's kind of like the dentist, basically, right? And then for the most part, you don't think about it. It's whatever. It doesn't bother you. It's not part of your main like deal, right? But the second you have to think about it, like, "Ugh, I don't want to go," and you put all these things up, right? Fuck. It's basically the same thing. Like, you're not constantly thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? But the second you do, it's fucking terrible. But it's easy to like not thinking about it. Most people don't brush their teeth anywhere as much as they should. Not saying you have to, by the way. If you eat a lot of sugar and you eat a lot of processed food, brush your teeth, right? Because there's a lot of bad shit out there. But if you tend to, eat better, not so much. But anyways, I get into that later. Anyways, when you have money, it's easy to just kind of like auto pay, it's whatever. And most people today that have a lot of video games, it's whatever. It's kind of like whatever. That's why I hate playing a lot of games today, especially if they're designed for like a younger audience. Basically, like if they're more simplistic and the kind of they're good because they got you thinking, right? But the problem is that while you're thinking, like, hey, by the way, if you want to make the game really easy, give us $5. And the whole fucking like forever, it's just give us money and we'll give you things. And oh, do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? Oh, here's a little bit of crack. Here's a little bit of crack. Get addicted to it. It's a little bit, a little bit. It's just enough. We'll give you enough to keep you addicted. But the second you're like, now I needed something, or now you need it, huh? Well, the prices went up tenfold. You know what I'm saying? And they got you. You took the bait. That's why at the beginning I'd said people who took the bait and people who didn't, and that's the difference between the Republicans right now. It's either have you crossed that line or have you not crossed that line. It's a lot harder on the left for people to cross that line, and in fact, that line for the most part, like nowadays, that line is pretty much gone. Basically, it's like it's evaporated. You know what I'm saying? That's why they have so much trouble talking about who's a man and who's a woman and blah blah blah. But certain things, the point is that certain things, they're like, I don't know, and they really look into it. Whereas the right, like, oh well, God said, then.
So sometimes people say, can money buy happiness? I think I agree with you. That worry, sort of being able to fill up your...
And again, there's nothing wrong with religion. If you believe in God, that's fine. Just do right. Just do right.
Work hard, not only for, but with working class people. I'm chairman of the committee that deals with labor issues. We have been involved, but with work enormous.
Most people in this country are intimately familiar with its crushing.
Than any other member, enormous.
Yeah.
I, maybe as much or more than any other member of the Senate, work hard, not only for, but with working class people. I'm chairman of the committee that deals with labor issues. We have been involved probably in dozens of strikes all over this country. I've been on picket lines. So, I do my best. It's a very easy trap to fall into. You can get separated from ordinary people and their struggles. Not hard to do. I try as hard as I can not to do that.
So sometimes people say, can money buy happiness? I think I agree with you. That worry, sort of being able to fill up your car and not worry about how much it's going to cost, or be able to get food for dinner and not worry about how much it's going to cost. Or even, I've been poor most of my life, but I've been very fortunate recently to have enough wealth to not worry about healthcare, to have insurance and be able to afford an emergency room visit. And that worry is just such a giant lift off your shoulders.
Lexi, I think you said it very well. I remember and I saw this change in myself. When I used to go and I do the grocery shop, my wife does a lot of the cooking, I do the grocery shop, and I used to look at the prices of everything. I do that less now. I say, what the hell, so what? It costs 50 cents more for this can of stuff, so what? But that's a luxury you have when you don't have to worry about that. And I don't have to worry about it. But
when you don't have to worry about it, he's right. Like, remember me, I don't remember the exact number. I said 7. It's something like, I owed $7 for my PG&E, right? So that 50 cents, it kind of adds up, you know what I'm saying? So I was $7 shy of my PG&E. It may have been like, for whatever reason, I was $7 shy, right? And of course, being $7 shy, the reason, this is why I was thinking about it, I'm trying not to. The reason as to why you're shy will vary. Depends. Some people can be reckless with their money. Some people just don't have enough. Right. The point is, or life can change and just throw you a fucking curveball, and now you got a broken toe and you gotta go pay $1 million because you get your little tank. Your little baby toe, the nail needs to be put on properly so it closes and it looks nasty. Or you're walking and you break your foot, and to the point where like the nail comes up and off of your toe, and you got a little retarded toe. You're like, well, I don't know, whatever. The point is, it matters to those that it matters. But again, like the dentist, when you're not thinking about it, it's very easy to forget it. And part of humanity, the way you're designed, is you're intentionally, you don't want to remember things that make upset. It's good to remember and to learn about things that led to the thing that you're trying to forget. But it's bad to remember the thing you're trying to forget, right? Like, that's why I brought up the dentist. Like, you hate going, but it's so easy to forget what you gotta do to not have to see him and have to deal with things that make it so uncomfortable. And for the record, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. If you have the money and you have whatever to afford things, it's honestly not so bad. But go with people you love and that you can trust. And I hope to God that the people you love are people you can trust. But anyways, continue, Bernie. Bernie, Matt, all dressed in black.
Your point is, again, to me, I don't like big fancy cars or big fancy homes. Don't go on. My wife will tell you we've not been on a real vacation for God knows how long, because I work pretty hard. But the major thing about having money, which is enormously important, is just what you said. I don't have to worry. If somebody in my family gets sick, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about putting food on the table or paying the mortgage. So that's what money has done.
Again, no secret, big fan of Senator Sanders. I am a big fan of Senator Sanders. What's really interesting and refreshing to me is that he is willing to tell us what he makes. He says he makes $175,000 a year. Now, That's a ton of money. You know what I mean? $175,000 a year. I think most Americans would say, oh, an anesthesiologist makes more than that. A surgeon makes more than a lot of people make more than that. Don't get me wrong. I am not sneezing at $175,000 a year. That is a ton of money. But when you compare it to the millionaires and billionaires and the people that make millions of dollars a year and the CEOs and the people that he talks about as the 1% and the 1% of the 1%, it really puts in perspective, like $175,000 a year, 3 residences, one where he works in. This is a senator too, right? A U.S. senator. So that's a nice job.
Remember, oh my God, you're a douchebag.
Too, right? A U.S. senator. Residence in perspective, like $175,000 a year, 3 residences.
Not from the money though. The money from being a senator. He gets a lot. He's an old fucking man. He damn well earns that money. Not all senators should get that amount. There's probably senators today that probably get paid more because they're corrupt. But what I'm saying is Bernie Sanders is a damn good senator. And if you're a manager somewhere, he would easily clock in at somewhere between like $100,000 an hour, or $100 an hour, basically, easily, $200 an hour, something ridiculous, because he knows his shit, right? But not only does he know his shit, he's also intelligent too. So that's why he's worth it that much. But the point I'm trying to get to is, remember, he also was the number one writer twice, a bestseller twice. He should have more than what he has, to be completely frank with you. But the game is rigged, so he only has 3 houses. You say, like, oh my God, he's a senator, he should end these 3 houses. No, he earned that shit. You fucker. This is what I hate about people, man. It's like, you gotta understand, like, he's not just some dude, he's not some guy named Bernie, right? He earned it. He earned it.
Is one where he works in a job at, you're rich, give me a break.
Wait, why give me a break?
That must be nice. His home state of Vermont, right? A U.S. senator. That's a nice job. This is CEO.
Wait a minute.
$175,000 a year. I think most Americans. I am a big fan of Senator Sanders. You know what's really interesting and refreshing to me is that he is willing to tell us what he makes. He says he makes $175,000 a year. Now, that's a ton of money. You know what I mean? $175,000 a year. I think most Americans would say, oh, an anesthesiologist makes.
If you made that much money, you better have earned it, first off. Secondly, if you made that much money and you earned it, you wouldn't be saying what you're about to say. People would say that you have no idea how it feels to earn that much money. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I'm talking to you, person who made this video. Progressive perspective. Shut the fuck up, you dumbass. You're trying to say because he has so much money, he's worth it. Like, shut up.
Makes more than that. A surgeon makes more than a lot of people make more than that.
It's not.
Don't get me wrong. I am not sneezing at $175,000 a year. That is a ton of money. But when you compare it to the millionaires and billionaires and the people that make millions of dollars a year and the CEOs and the people that he talks about as the 1% and the 1% of the 1%, it really puts in perspective. Like,
you are sad.
$175,000 a year, 3 residences, one.
Dude, stop looking at it as just money. Like, you say, oh my God, this guy makes this much money. Oh, $1 million. Oh, millionaire. Oh, he's worth how much money? That's the fucking problem, dude. You gotta look at it for what you're worth. Bernie Sanders is worth it. Elon Musk, the whole reason why he's so corrupt It may be because the system that he invented initially was rigged against him. Most corporations didn't want anything to do with Elon Musk. My phone lit up. Most people don't want anything to do with Elon. I didn't say Elon Sanders, but Elon Musk. Basically, they had nothing. Like, I remember he was looking for a factory to produce his car, and most factories back when it first started said no, and they kept telling him no everywhere he went. So I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why we're dealing with a rich asshole is because of the fucking corrupt people in charge of the not government, but the private industry that made cars and shit. They owned the system. They had people in bed that were bad with politics, and the system was bad, right? And so no one had room for anything. It was impossible for you to create new ideas or to whatever. Like, it was a field you could not get into. It's the same with the music industry as well. If you didn't sign with someone rich, you didn't make it. That was it. You just didn't make it because they had so much pull. It's the same thing how it was, what's called in the automotive industry, basically. So, like, I am thinking about it. Maybe America is the reason why Elon Musk exists. Like, the reason why he's so asshole, wants to cut the reins on everything is because he's stupid and believed him. He actually believed all the reason why my hands were tied is because of regulation. When in reality, their hands are tied because they just didn't want to fucking help you. And now that you're worth hell of money, and now that you can actually, now your cars are for sale. Now they want to get involved, but they also want to sell your, or make your cars suck and shit. And they're trying to wheedle you out, and it's a whole fuck. I can theory craft forever. You guys owe me a lot of money. Go.
And where he works and what. This is a senator too, right? A U.S. senator. That's a nice job.
Thank God for us.
He's got a residence there where he works in D.C. He's got a residence in his home state of Vermont, and then they've got a lake place. Nice, really nice. I mean, hey, that must be nice. But it's certainly not the picture that his critics paint of, well, you're rich, you live in mansions and 3 homes, and what are you barking at us about? Come on.
Bro, their picture and your picture are both empty and hollow. His picture is completely different. Like, cause you are a scumbag. As far as your views, all you're seeing is the money, and you're not seeing him for what he's doing and how that is earning him the money. You're acting like anybody can be this, anybody can be this, anybody can be the president, anybody can be the brain surgeon. I think you mentioned some sleep something. I forget what the hell it's called. Basically, a sleep doctor. Basically, they make a lot of money, and because they mess with chemicals and shit, you act like anybody can do it. No, the reason why they get paid so much money is because nobody's fucking doing it. Basically, that's why they get so much. It's so hard to do. That's why they get paid so much. Everybody and their mama is doing it. Do you think they'd still get paid the same amount of money? Probably not, right? It's supply and demand, right? Like, you have the mindset that the rich is looking for. Basically, you're not looking at who or what the person is. All you're looking at is the value of the money. That's it. It's just the money, and it's just all soulless and then money. And that's the rich. That's the same thing as the rich. And how to get more money? How to get more money? How to get more money? Right? And Bernie Sanders, right? That's a lot of money to him, and he's happy to have 3 houses, and blah blah blah, and do what he does. But he could have been the president of the United States, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? And then we got what's his name? Fucking Trump, right? The only reason why he is who he is his father, and yet he's the president, and he's making all the uh, for some reason the world believes he's making all these decisions, and they're all coming from him. Even though I've been saying it for a long time, he's the Trojan horse, and the rich is just using him to talk to us, and he's a way to relate. But in reality, um, what's it called? He's an empty hollow. He is exactly what you're talking about. Like in that world, you're absolutely right. In the Trump world, you as a person, you fit. Anybody can be president in Trump world. Anybody can be president because he's not the actual president. The actual president is Elon. That's why we call him President Elon. And the rich around uh, President Elon. You know what I'm saying? All the people that aren't infected are affected by the money. Basically, president money, right? Welcome to our capitalist system that's run by money. Basically, oligarchy, right? That's what I've been saying for a long time. But we're losing the humanity, basically. And I think that's what it is. It's just the humanity is not present in your words, and it's not present in the ultra rich. And with Sanders, it is present, basically, and that's why I say he's worth so much money. And there's an ultra fake world that you fit right into. I'm not seeing. Yeah, there's the other side that we need to come back to. You don't fit. Sorry to say, but yeah.
Give me a break. Yeah. I think it's really refreshing to hear him talk about anything. He's always so frank, but especially about income and the stress that just having to struggle and worry about this stuff. Like if you $50 a month, $1,000 a year, and that $12,000 a year makes a palpable difference in your quality of life. That $1,000 a month at that tier is huge, feels huge, right? And then if you had to go back to 50 the following year, you would feel that tightening of the belt. You'd feel that pinch. $12,000 a year, when these conversations in the public domain we're talking about, Elon Musk is almost $500 million, and billionaires and CEOs, it's almost a different planet, right?
That's the point.
Just to put things in perspective.
That
Let me
was
know
the
what you
point.
think in the comments.
I think you're an idiot. I think you need to shut up. I think, like, don't get me wrong, you might be. I would honestly guess you're older. Not older. You're not young. Basically, you're not young, but you're kind of stupid. Like, no offense, but you're kind of more adapted to the rich world that Elon is trying to create, more so than the world that Bernie Sanders exists in. I think the whole world in America, the whole of America, is kind of on the edge, basically. Like they're mostly in line with Sanders, but the pull from the rich is just too much, basically. So we're slowly tipping the scales to the rich. Even though the world is more Sanders, we're slowly becoming the rich side. We're slowly becoming like you or your mind. Basically, you don't have that kind of that home spirit, that home energy, and we're losing the stuff that gave birth to us. Basically, as you said, it's a whole different world. That's basically what we're becoming. We're becoming aliens. Like Elon Musk is an alien, so to speak, because he's just so unfamiliar to us. But anyways, I've been talking for too long. How long? Like 50 minutes? 44. 44, almost 45 minutes. So anyways, I am the bucket of knowledge, the most intelligent man in the world, and I've told that to many people, and then most of the part agree. I've actually told it to my sleep doctor, who's a really good doctor, and he flat out, he's like, I can believe that. I can believe it. That's because intellect is not the same as education, and with that, yeah. So if Catholic, Christian, whatever, Bible, go for it. Uh, Quran and all that stuff along with it, fine. Do whatever you want. Leave people alone. Other people, don't kill other people. Don't fucking shit down somebody's throat. Don't rape the daughters. Don't virgin kill the virgin. Pray and Bob, do your own thing. If you want to fucking kill your own family, that's on you. I don't care. Just leave the other people alone. Leave me alone. Leave anybody else alone. And peace.